Hello, welcome to Goodnight Flagstaff. I'm Jamie Paul, and I love reading out loud, and I especially love this book, Race to the Sun. I actually finished reading the whole thing today, and it's delightful, but don't worry, I won't give you any spoilers. Thank you for tuning in to our community story time. You can find a new chapter from one of our favorite family-friendly books at 8 p.m. each weeknight on the Literacy Center's YouTube channel and on Crater Radio, a local online radio station. The previous chapter is replayed on Crater Radio each weeknight at about 7:45, just before the new chapter airs. You can also listen to all previous Goodnight Flagstaff recordings on YouTube. We are currently reading, that's right, Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. If you'd like to check it out to read along with us at home, it is available in the Hoopla app with your Coconino County and Flagstaff City library card. Check one out today. Please email us if you'd like to join our team of readers and connect with your community through stories. All ages are welcome. Our email is goodnightflagstaff@gmail.com. Last time we read together, Najoni watched sadly as everyone prepared for battle because she couldn't go with them. But Mr. Yazzie tells her she only needed to be willing to make that sacrifice to set them free, and she is still needed in the fighting. Huzzah! Let's go fight monsters. Here comes chapter 42 and 43. Clijin leads us over the Chusca Mountains, great sheer peaks that run north and south down the spine of the Navajo Nation. The rest of the heralds fly with us in tight formation, yellow on our right and white on our left, with blue bringing up the rear. The wind whips around me, blowing my hair away from my face and burning my cheeks. There in the distance is Tsibitae. It's a huge mountain, standing all alone in the desert. I wouldn't even call it a mountain, more like a big rock boat stranded in the middle of nowhere. We fly right for it. Look, Clijin shouts, there at the edge. Dozens of buzzards stream out of the mouth of a cave near the top of the mountain. These birds are much bigger and scarier than the ones at Dibinsa. Their wingspan is the length of a school bus, and their glowing red eyes are visible even from here. They must see us, too, because an awful shriek goes up, and they immediately bank to make a beeline for us. Remember, only a monster slayer can look into their eyes, Black Jet Girl reminds me. Their gaze freezes everyone else. We're relying on you. Got it, I say, hoping Davery and Mac are warned in time. Scatter! Black Jet Girl shouts to the guardians, and Clijin echoes the sentiment with a piercing call. The other heralds spread out, banking left and right, respectively. Doli drops below us. I peer down and see Davery behind Yellow Corn Girl on Siddi's back. He's holding his lightning book and frantically turning the pages as he looks up how to defeat the monsters. Davery gazes up as if he senses me watching. I can't find anything yet, he says. But if I had to guess, I'd say aim for the eyes so they can't use their freeze powers. And then the heralds should go for the heart. All the heralds answered with battle cries. Eyes, then heart, I mutter. Easy enough, if I weren't 100 feet in the air on the back of a giant bird. Are you ready? Black Jet Girl asks me. Sure. Who doesn't like a challenge? Clijin suddenly rears, and I try to grab hold of Black Jet Girl's slick surface to keep from falling. The Black Mountain Herald lets loose a skin-tingling scream and thrusts her claws forward just as a huge Binayi Agane comes at us, its moldy beak open wide. Najoni, your arrows! Now! Black Jet Girl shouts. I lift my bow, nock an arrow, and take aim. I exhale, just like they taught us at archery camp, and on the next breath, I release. The arrow flies true, a streak of white lightning that hits the Benaye Agane in its veiny red eyeball. The monster screeches and veers away. Clijin's claws rip oily feathers from its chest as it passes, tearing a bloody gash across its body. It screeches again, and we watch as the creature spirals to the earth below. I hold my breath as it strikes the ground and doesn't move. We got him! I shout. Clijin must have pierced its heart. No time to celebrate, Black Jet Girl says. There's more coming. A fierce cry to my left draws my attention. I look over, and Mom is standing on Ligai's back, holding up her lightning sword. Rock Crystal Boy is steering, but he's having to do it with his head down to avoid being frozen by the buzzard's gaze. Aim for the eyes! I yell. At first, I think she's too far away to hear me, but she turns briefly and gives me a thumbs up. I watch as a Benaye Agani closes in. Mom waits until the buzzard is practically on top of her, and then she swings the sword. Lightning crackles from its tip, slashing the monster's face. Ligai drops, almost too quickly, streaking under the buzzard and dragging its beak across the monster's underside, tearing it open. Mom has to squat and grab her herald's feathers to keep her balance. She barely avoids a disgusting rain of buzzard intestines as the Benaye Agani falls from the sky. And then Blackjack Girl is shouting at me, and I can't watch Mom anymore because 2 more Benaye Agani are coming for us. I raise my bow, knock another arrow, and try to figure out which to shoot first. They're both coming in so fast I won't have time to hit both. Nizoni, shoot! Blackjack Girl yells. I steady my breath, exhale, and release. Another perfect shot right in the eye. The Benaye Agani shrieks in pain and spins away. I turn as quickly as I can, but the other buzzard is so close, there's no way I can draw an arrow before it hits us. I can smell its hot, fetid breath and see the rows of rotted teeth inside its mouth. Duck! Someone shouts. I drop flat against Jin's back, and something strikes over my head. I catch a flash of blue out of the corner of my eye. It's Doli, head down, wings tucked against his body as he barrel rolls past us. And there's Mac, legs strapped to his back, arm outstretched as he sends liquid fire directly over my head and into the Benaye Agani's face. I smell burned feathers. And is that fried chicken? And then the buzzard's carcass is plummeting toward the ground below. Blackjack Girl and I let out a cheer, and Mac raises his fist in victory. He's so distracted, he doesn't see what's coming behind him. And by the time he does, it's too late. Chapter 43, Out of the Frying Pan. Mac! I scream as a huge Benaye Agani strikes Doli from behind, sending the Blue Herald's controlled barrel roll into an out-of-control spiral. I watch in horror as my brother falls out of his harness and somersaults off Doli's back into the open sky. Turquoise Boy reaches for him, but he's too far away. No! I slap my palm against Jin's back to get her attention. I look around frantically for help, but Mom is too busy fighting off buzzards, and Davery is ducking for cover under his book. I see him, Jin says, voice grim. Hold on, I'm going to try to catch him before he hits the ground. She banks, taking the turn at top speed, and goes straight into a dive. The wind blows me back, and I twist my fingers through the rope, holding on tight. Blackjack Girl does the same, leaning forward as close as she can to Jin's back. We don't get far before something hits us from the side, throwing Jin off course and bringing our pursuit up short. Mac! I search frantically for his figure and spot him, still falling toward the hard earth below, and then I see it. A shimmery substance unfurls in the air underneath him like a silver net. He falls into the glimmering stuff, and it completely envelopes his body, rolling him into what looks like a giant burrito. Then it retracts toward the side of the canyon until it gently bumps the side and comes to a safe stop no more than a few feet from the ground. That was close. What just happened? I ask aloud. Looks like we had some help, Blackjack Girl says, gesturing towards a cliff. Probably a dozen feet above Cocoon Mac, hanging from the sheer rock wall, is a woman wearing rock climbing gear, a harness, helmet, nylon pants, and a windbreaker, with a black and red rug pattern on it. Her hair is tied up in a traditional tsigye, and she's wearing sunglasses. She sees us and waves happily. It's Spider-Woman, which means Mac is wrapped in a web. Oh boy, he's going to hate that. Of course, if I tell him that his options were spiderweb or death, he might be grateful. Or not. It's definitely going to be a close call. Spider-Woman is waving more frantically now. She's gesturing to something behind me, and I turn to see what it is. And then I almost wish I hadn't. Coming up fast is the biggest Benaye Agani I've seen yet. Twice as big as Jin. In fact, I think it would swallow her in a single bite. If the Benaye Agani have a king, this guy is it. And I know for sure we are about to be its lunch. The hairs on my neck rise, and I feel a terrible chill. But the giant buzzard doesn't try to attack. Instead, it curves wide, avoiding us altogether, and tapers into a dive, heading for Mac, hanging helplessly against the cliffside. But why would it go for Mac instead of the 4 guardians in the sky? Then I see it. There's a rider on its back. I recognize him immediately. Blonde hair, still wearing a black suit. The head monster. "It's him!" I shout. "Mr. Charles!" He looks over his shoulder and stares right at me as if he heard me. His lips spread into an ugly smirk, but he doesn't turn his buzzard mount. He shoots straight for Mac. No way I'm letting that monster take my little brother. I may not have been able to protect him from Adrian Cuttlebush, but I'm going to save him from the biggest bully of all, or die trying. "Follow him!" I shout to Clichin. I barely get the words out before we're jolted to the side by another buzzard attack. Clichin cries out, dazed, and we start to drop. I clutch at Blackjack Girl, and she throws her arms around the herald's neck. We free fall, my heart rushing up to my throat, before Clichin evens out again. "Are you okay?" I shout. "My wing! I think it's hurt. I'm going to have to land." "What about Mac?" "I can't get to him. They're blocking me. Look." Sure enough, 2 more buzzards have taken positions below us. They aren't attacking, just preventing Clichin from following Mr. Charles. Each one has a rider on their back, the infamous bodyguards, Mr. Rock and Ms. Bird. "Najoni!" It's Davery, still on Sidie's back with Yellow Corn Girl. They hover next to us, almost close enough to touch. "Clichin is hurt!" I shout over the wind. "She has to land!" "I know, but I found what I needed in the lightning book. It's going to seem a little nuts. Do you trust me?" That doesn't sound good, but I do trust him. "As long as it gets me to Mac." "Okay," he grins. "Jump." "Come again?" Surely I didn't hear that right. We're 100 feet up in the air. No way I'm getting off this bird on purpose. "I told you it seems nuts, but it's the only way." He lifts the lightning book and shakes it in my direction. "I read it in here. I know it'll work." I glance below me. Mr. Rock and Miss Bird hover there, ready to snap me up like a bug. And if I somehow made it through their blockade in one piece, I'd fall and break my neck against the rock floor below. "Is Spider-Woman going to catch me too?" I ask. Maybe she'll wrap me in a web. But then how will I fight Mr. Charles? "No," Davery says. "The book doesn't say anything about Spider-Woman." He glances over his shoulder, like there's something behind him. But I don't see anything. Just a big, fluffy white cloud. "But you've got to jump! Now!" "You can do it," Chijin says, sounding like Coach. "Go get him, Najoni!" I remove the rope around my waist and swing my legs over so they're both dangling off the same side. I tighten the strap of my arrow quiver, painfully aware that I only have 2 precious arrows left. I pin my bow to my side. "Good luck," Blackjack Girl says, and I give her a terrified smile, definitely reconsidering this hero business. It really is for the birds. "Here goes nothing," I say. I take one last deep breath and push myself off the safety of Clichin's back. Immediately, my stomach falls out from under me like on the worst part of the cyclone ride. The wind snatches me and throws me earthward, and I go plummeting through blue sky with no idea where or how I'm going to land. That is the end of chapter 43. Join us tomorrow for chapter 44 and 45 of Race to the Sun. Good night, Flagstaff.